So, have you ever felt just completely overwhelmed by the modern grind? The anxiety, the endless pressure, that nagging sense of doubt? It's something we literally all face today. But what if the key to beating it isn't some trendy new productivity hack? What if the secret actually sits right at the intersection of ancient wisdom and modern quantum physics? Seriously? What if your thoughts and your faith actually possess the physical power to shape your reality?
Welcome to The Explainer. I'm so incredibly excited to guide you through this today. We're going to dive right in and bridge the mind-bending science of quantum mechanics with the profound ancient teachings of the Upanishads. And specifically, we'll unpack a super practical guide found in Chapter 17 of the Bhagavad Gita to help you find some real inner peace and clarity.
Here's our roadmap for today. We're looking at ancient wisdom and modern science, the observer effect, how faith creates your reality, the three modes of nature, and finally, the art of living. Basically, we're journeying from the macro-level blueprint of the whole universe right down to our daily habits.
All right, part one, ancient wisdom, modern science. We're kicking things off by looking at the fundamental nature of the universe through Advaita Vedanta, a really sophisticated Indian philosophy rooted in the ancient Upanishads.
To really grasp this, we first needed to find a core concept, and that is Brahman. The Upanishads describe Brahman as the infinite source of all existence. It's completely changeless, meaning it stays exactly the same even as the entire universe changes around it. It's not a person, not a conventional god, but rather pure consciousness. It's literally the foundational essence, the ultimate indivisible reality of absolutely everything we see and experience.
Now, to understand our place in all that vastness, think of this brilliant analogy. Imagine the universe as this massive, endless ocean. That entire ocean is Brahman. Well, in Hinduism, there's this concept of Atman, which is the individual soul, your deepest self. Atman is like a single drop of water from that ocean. It's just a drop, right? But it's part of the ocean, and it shares the exact same infinite qualities. You are fundamentally connected to the ultimate reality.
Moving on to part two, the observer effect. Let's see how this ancient idea lines up with modern science.
So, in the early 20th century, physics went through a massive revolution. Scientists discovered something mind-blowing called the observer effect. In the famous double-slit experiment, they found that at the subatomic level, particles actually don't exist as definite objects in a set place. Instead, they exist in this wild state of probability, like a wave of potential, until they are actually observed or measured. The very act of observing collapses that web of probabilities into a definite state. The observer literally influences the reality of the particle. Wild, right? And this illustrates a stunning parallel. On one hand, quantum physics states that observation determines the outcome of subatomic events. On the other hand, the ancient Upanishads have long asserted that reality is shaped by our perceiving consciousness, which is known as Chaitanya. Now look, we aren't talking about a literal superpower where you just blink and levitate objects, but this is a profound philosophical parallel. Both disciplines completely challenge the idea that we're just passive witnesses in a mechanical world. Actually, the observer and the observed are completely inseparable.
Part three, faith creates your reality. If the observer shapes reality at a fundamental level, how do we actually apply this to our daily lives and our personal struggles?
Well, this is exactly where the wisdom of the Bhagavad Gita brings all this quantum philosophy right down to earth. Specifically, Chapter 17 teaches us that our personal faith, our thoughts, and our focus are acting as our very own observer. Think about it like walking into a high-stakes job interview. If you walk in radiating belief and focus, you are, in a very practical sense, collapsing the probabilities of your future towards success. We really are the creation of our own thoughts and desires.
The Gita emphasizes this perfectly. If you let the modern plague of imposter syndrome, negative thoughts, or just general laziness enter your mind, you're actively manifesting that negative reality. But firm faith, that focuses your mind like a laser, cutting right through the noise. Keep your dream alive with focus, thought, and determination, and you will overcome difficulties. Your unwavering attention literally shapes your outcome.
Part 4. The three modes of nature. To optimize our minds to be the best possible observers, we need a practical toolkit, and the Gita provides this through the three gunas, or modes of nature.
This table perfectly breaks down how our daily choices, even down to our diet, dictate our state of mind. Sattvic foods, fresh, juicy, healthy stuff, promote goodness, leaving your mind peaceful and happy. But if you're stress-eating Rajasuka foods, like bitter, salty junk food, you trigger Rajas, which is a state of restless passion, greed, and anxiety. And tamasic foods,
Heavy, spoiled, or super-processed meals lead to tamas, ignorance, bringing on that lazy brain fog and confusion. So to be a powerful observer, you absolutely have to feel yourself to operate in that peaceful, sattvic state.
Finally, part 5, the art of living. How on earth do we maintain this peaceful sattvic state while taking action in a modern world that is just full of anxiety and pressure?
The secret to success here is a framework called karma yoga. It's a 3-step process. Step 1, set a goal and work hard with strong faith. Step 2, focus on the action with undivided attention. And step 3, which is definitely the hardest part, let go of worrying about the result. It's kind of like a farmer. A farmer has complete control over how hard they work the land, right? But zero control over the actual harvest. But of course, they won't get a harvest if they don't work the land. If you're constantly paralyzed by the fear of a bad harvest or a failed project at work, your creative energy is totally wasted. You must act with total absorption in the present moment. Chapter 17 beautifully summarizes this whole idea. Thoughts create our future. We become what we always think of. Your continuous focus, your unshakable faith, and your disciplined actions literally construct the reality you're going to live in. Whether you view it through the ancient spiritual lens of Atman merging with Brahman, or the modern scientific lens of the observer collapsing away of potential, the message is exactly identical. You are in the driver's seat.
Which leaves us with one final, absolutely crucial question. Knowing that you are the powerful observer of your own universe, knowing that your thoughts, your faith, and your actions shape the very fabric of your life, what reality will you choose to observe and create today? Thanks for joining me on this explainer. I really hope this gives you a profound new perspective on your own limitless potential.